Hey,
Feel good
and
about
welcome to the new meta, episode 66.
66.
My name is ThaPChild.
Yeah. And I'm Lord Fluffy.
Welcome.
Yeah, man.
So how you doing, man?
You know, I'm loving WoW Classic. It's everything
Yeah?
I've dreamed it would be.
Yeah. So what's your favorite aspect of it? Is it the load times?
Probably that no one's streaming
The wait
Diablo and I get all the viewers. So
the waiting in queue the
yeah,
whole time?
I've been in the queue this whole time. No one even has to know that I'm lying because you would believe me, right?
The entire time you've been in queue. So as I tab into to make sure I don't get disconnected from the server.
Oh god! Wait, you are not in? I thought you were playing. Oh, so you're keeping your character
last
going.
Night.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Okay.
last night I logged out when I went to bed, and they did a restart anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And so, true story. We'll talk about Diablo stuff in just a second.
Sure.
This is
relevant
today.
Sure, yeah.
So I logged out last night, went to bed at 8 a.m. Streamed all the way till 8 in the morning.
Okay.
And then they did a maintenance that ended at 10 a.m. So the maintenance was going to hit, or maybe it started at 10 and ended at 11. I don't remember. But
so then it's just a free for all of everyone trying to get back in after that?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly. So I was like, fuck it, I don't care. I need to get some sleep. So I slept like 4 hours. I woke up at like 12:30 and I went down. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and jump in queue. Queue's probably going to be an hour. It'll give me time to take a shower, get some breakfast, whatever, hop in. Dude, I did not get in until 7 o'clock tonight.
Whoa.
I waited in queue for 7 hours today, dude. 7 hours.
What?
7 hours. Now, I don't know, man.
That's insane.
That is insane. And this isn't even like the most active server. I guess it's got to be an active server, but it's crazy, man.
Is that the Asmongold server or something?
No, it's not. That's the thing.
Like
this is one of the servers they announced after. So like there was an initial like launch of 3, and then they're like, oh shit, those are full. Let's put out another wave. I'm on the second wave. And then they did a third wave, and at launch, I think they did like 3 more waves or something stupid.
What?
But they've built layering technology on these servers, and basically what it does is it works just like retail WoW, where they can instance, and so they have multiple copies of the same server going, and your character is thrown on an instance of that, and then you can invite each other from instance to instance, and you'll migrate over, so you can still group up. So it's a really cool technology. It's awesome, but they won't churn on more instances, and the reasoning because they say that Phase 1, which is going to launch in a couple months, can't support the instancing. So they're literally doing this to people and making them wait in queue to force them to either quit playing or to migrate to another server. It blows my mind.
Wow.
I'm like, just turn it on and we'll figure that out later. Give free transfers or something. Like, I don't understand, man.
That's insane.
So it's brutal. It's brutal.
So yeah, to kind of touch on that. So what was pretty crazy to me yesterday. So WoW had 1 million viewers on Twitch, which was like, that's fucking insane.
Is that the most the game directory's ever had?
I don't.
Has Fortnite hit?
Probably,
Ninja had like 600K,
right?
By himself. So,
right.
But at that time, though, I think he was like, dominating the thing.
I think I heard there was more than like WoW's ever had, which was.
I think so too.
But that was pretty interesting. And now it's down to, I think we checked right before we went live, 250K. That's a pretty big drop. And I was asking the stream, do you think that number will be higher if this like Q crap wouldn't be around?
I definitely think the Q crap is it's 275. I just checked. Yeah. I think the Q crap is going to turn players away. I was talking about my community about this. The fact that they built technology to be able to layer, and I don't know the details, so maybe they have turned on as many layers as they can possibly support. But if they have the ability to turn on more, they have all these people that are coming in for maybe the first time in Classic, or like these, they have guys that go to work 9 to 5, come home at 5, jump on to try to log in WoW Classic, and sit in queue until it's time for them to go to bed, and they never even get to play. So and this is a thing that's happened to like some of my friends, like my real life buddies. Like coming back to play Classic that I played Classic with, we're so hype, we're gonna get to play. I haven't played with these guys in years, man, and we're gonna come back and play. And we had all these things, And so I was smart enough to kind of think of a way to ensure I got on at live. Like I logged in 2 hours before the servers went live, and I went to the character creation screen and started to create a character because it doesn't AFK kick you out when that happens. And then I was able to just stay logged into the server the entire time. So when it went live, I was good. I didn't know if that would work. It was just like a theory, and it did. It paid off. Like it let me right in.
Wow.
So, but like him, he got home, and I told him, like, he called me, and I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I don't know if it's going to work. You should try it. He's like, cool. I just got home. It was 4:30. He took off work an hour early, jumped in queue as soon as he got home, and he was already 8,000th place in line. And that queue eventually went to 22,000 from what my chat told me. And he never got in all night. It was like 7 hours in, and he's like, I'm going to bed, man. Fuck this.
Holy shit.
So
that sucks, man. Like, cause
so people like that are like, he's like, this guy played classic WoW with me in BC and then quit. Like, he's like going to come back and play. Like, this is going to turn him off because tonight the exact same thing's happening. He's not going to get to play tonight too. Day number 2, he's paid his $15 for his sub, and now he can't play again. And then so Blizzard's solution is like, well, go play on another realm. It's like, dude, all my boys are on this realm.
Yeah.
Like, so, I don't know, man.
I mean, I get, like, so I don't understand the classic WoW. I don't understand why people are hyped about it, but like, I know what it feels like to be super like pogging out over a game, and so I can feel that really sucks for you guys.
Yeah, it does. So,
anyways, you want to talk about
we'll
some
talk
Diablo?
about Diablo stuff.
Yeah. I think
so. We had a season launched, right? I think something like that.
We sure fucking did. Season 18.
Yeah.
And we asked the age-old question that we ask at the start of every season: which class are you starting with in season 18? What do you think won?
Wizard. Gotta be Wizard, man.
And what do you think's dead last?
I think Witch Doctor, even though it's in a better spot, still gets no love. I'm gonna say Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor last, Wizard first.
I'm gonna go Necro, because Necro got a new build, right? We got Blood and Essence, and dead last. I don't know, maybe Crusader.
Think?
Yeah, but I'm voting Necro. Okay. Results. Okay. Oh, I mean, that's probably skewed because a lot of people in this are my community,
Yeah, Necro fans. Yeah.
Wow, Barb's dead last with 6% of the vote. Witch Doctor not much better, 7%. Crusader 9%. Monk 11%. Wizard 14%.
Demon Hunter has like the shadow following, like.
Well, now it's got multi-shadow captain, so I assume a lot.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like people will always play Demon. It doesn't matter. Like
shadow scale is so good. Like so
people
fast.
just love Demon Hunter so much.
And then Necro, 34% of the vote. Yeah. My boys, my people.
Cool. Yeah, so I played something interesting.
Yeah.
I made a game time decision when season started.
Shit.
And I went Witch Doctor. I was like, I was gonna go Crusader, and then I played Crusader the day before, and I was like, man, this is Resident Sleeper. I can't, like, it was, just so slow. And so I'm like, I'm gonna go Wiz. And then so I was getting ready to roll Wiz. It's like 15 minutes before the season goes. And chat was like, do Witch Doctor. I'm like, all right, fine. Do Witch Doctor.
I mean, what do you got to lose? You're playing for 2 days. Yeah,
that's kind of what I thought. I'm like, you know what? I'll try it. And if I have a good time, I'll do it again in the future. Right?
Mm-hmm. How'd it go?
Dagger of Darts is a fun build. It's super squish to me.
DOD.
Because I want to get better gear.
Huh. Okay.
So it's the Zunimasa DOD.
Yeah.
Build.
And Zuni DOD. Or I guess because it's not LAN, because it's just.
Yeah. So and it's powerful, man. Like I got the basic pieces put together. I got some ancient pieces put, on it. I don't have any Augs or any like crazy gems or anything like that because I only, 2 days, did Friday and Saturday. Yeah. But it was fun, man. I mean, it was new to play, so it was cool. It was squishier than I thought it would be. And other than that, it was okay. I don't like any of the Witch Doctor speed builds though. They don't really have any good ones. Dislike them, man. Yeah. I just dislike them. Chicken Doctor. I mean, I didn't get to try all of them, so maybe there are some out there that I'd like. But
I think Jade plays decent for speed, but they still don't really have anything that's like, whoa, this is great.
Yeah, they don't have that speed build that's just like, you're cruising, like just stuff's melting, and So at least, to me, I'm sure anything. So before this is taken out of context, any character juiced up enough can destroy everything.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm saying as a fresh character, like just the power, you can tell the power difference of the speed builds from, like, example would be Chantotos, or even like the T16 Rothma Singularity builds that are so powerful.
Right. But my season start was like, so I'm going SSF this season. And I flew to 70. Like, I just crushed it. And then from Paragon 1 to Paragon 430, I seriously didn't get a single drop. Like, I mean, I got drops, but like absolutely nothing I could use for any build. It was the weirdest shit. Like, I couldn't get anything. So I have surviving on my leveling
any
gear.
luck? Like, you're leveling, like your Kadala gamble, like I have the worst luck. I got nothing again for like the 4th season in a row.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. I'm like, what is the deal with this? And unfortunately, nobody on my team got anything either. So it was a rough 1 to 70. Luckily, when we hit 70, the Necro I had on the team he rained on him, and he got like pretty much a full rat set instantly with like the ring and weapons and like everything. So that was huge for us to help out in the initial push, because we were struggling the 1 to 70. So
but it was
our luck was reversed, it sounds like, you know.
So. Well, Necro, I think, Witch Doctor and Necro are just insane at leveling. But like, Necro gets that upgrade scythe when you level, which is just absolutely nuts. I got Blood Type Blade, and that was just like insanely OP. I got the Iron Rose when I hit 35 because I saved my blood shards. So I was just flying. And then I got a 30 level requirement when I upgraded 2-handers.
Oh, wow.
So I was
That's awesome, dude.
Done. Yeah.
So what about, how's SSF? Tell me about it. You liking it? Is it fun? What do you think?
I do like it, because here's the thing. Like, there's that, we talk about this a lot, and you said it yourself, that there's that early season juice where you're progressing. Like, the progression in Diablo is like this much, right? And when you play SSF, you kind of extend it.
Yeah, you slow it down.
It's so hard, to get everything you need by yourself completely. So it does, it kind of enhances and extends that duration of like, ooh, Pog, this is a huge upgrade kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's felt pretty good, man, to be honest. I've been really...
So do you think this month, like the 1 month, is going to be a nice timetable for it? Do you think it should be even shorter or longer?
I think if it wasn't, like, this season is tough because, in 2 weeks we got PoE Blight. 2 days in, we had WoW Classic. I know a lot of people are pogging out about Borderlands 3 coming out in like just a few weeks. So this particular season, it's probably going to be pretty tough for it to like survive. But yeah, I think the 1 month is actually really good. 3 weeks, anywhere from 2 weeks to 4 weeks, I think is just fine.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm liking it.
Yeah,
I'm digging it.
Awesome. Did we have a new poll?
Yes.
This week? What's our poll?
Actually, so this one, I was kind of interested in, and it's something we kind of talked about. So the question is, build diversity should come mainly from 1, a passive skill tree, 2, in-depth gearing, 3, skill selection and modifiers, or 4, class/subclass options. What should diversity mostly come from? You guys vote on that, and you don't get to say a word.
I'm not saying anything. I have opinions, but I'm not saying a word.
But yeah, so one of the things, and I don't know if a lot of people in the community probably still don't know about it, but so they made a very, very last minute change to stone gauntlets. I don't know if you saw this or not.
I heard about it. I didn't read the official thing, but I did have people tell me.
So
how did you see the change?
Yeah, so on PTR, it was kind of clever. It wasn't on purpose, and I still don't believe it was on purpose. But like, you could get, how you can get CC reduction on your secondaries on your gear. Yeah. Well, you could stack that, and so stone gauntlets had like a negative effect where you get decreased movement speed, you get decreased attack speed, and via CC reduction on your secondaries, you could kind of decrease that reduction. And it was kind of like, oh, that's nice. Like, throughout the season, that's something to gear for. Like that's going to be pretty hard to get CC reduction on your secondaries to make that really good. But once you do, wow, that'd be great. But at the last second, they decided, you know what? Let's allow players to be immune to it. So you could use like Invigorating Gemstone. You can use Ice Climbers. You can use like basically anything from every other class in the game, like, you know, Wrath of the Berserker, Veer, or what? That's not Veer, but the guy, the Archon. Like any form that makes you like immune to shit. It basically cancels out the negative effects of Stone Gauntlets. So what we're probably gonna see this season, because that's so strong, is so a support barb gives IP to the whole group, and IP cancels out the negative effects of Stone Gauntlets by himself. So we could potentially see the 4-mans dropping a support class from the group altogether. So they could be like 2 Bazooka Wiz, an RGK Necro, and a support barb, and they could just kill the monk. Like you might not even have to run it. It's that like good.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. So I did hear about the change. I didn't think I heard about it until the second day, until Saturday maybe it was even Sunday. But so I didn't sit there and spend a lot of time. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And my thought process is like they put a negative effect almost for the first time ever on a legendary item, but they gave you a way to get around it. So I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. You know, get around it. But like you're saying, like
right. And like
able to remove it is like,
it's insane. And so for me, I went and tested it like on like Blight or Poison Scythe, and I could like AFK in a 120 by myself.
Straight
it's
up,
that good. Like I could. Just...
What do you mean? You could literally walk away and you won't die.
Yeah.
But how does it work? How does those Stone Gauntlets work again?
So every time you get hit, you get like 50% armor, and it stacks up to 250%. So like, and Necro doesn't even have like a lot of armor. So like, imagine if you're playing like a strength class,
and you could straight up 100% walk away at 120 and not die.
That was without Paragon too.
Yeah, that's pretty broken.
Yeah. So it's insanely strong.
So like, what if you put that? Yeah, I mean that's endless things.
You know, I don't know how you squeeze it in the 4-man, but like if you can, I mean, I foresee people. I mean, we've always joked that like people are gonna speed farm like 150s, and they've kind of been doing that.
That makes me want to roll a con. Like so, like a con is so sleep, but like when you're in Akrit's champion form, you're immune to CC. So that would instantly cancel it out. And then you're running around. The attack speed, so does does it remove the CC or the attack speed penalty as well?
Yeah, the movement speed and the attack speed. It completely negates it if you can like negate.
Well, I mean, a cons doesn't even matter for attack speed anyways, but
it's insanely good.
I mean, like, you know, it would be crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
and they do use armor. Like they have high armor classes.
It's a straight class.
I mean, it'd be fun to test some of those things.
Sure.
You know?
Sure. I mean, I'm kind of torn on this. It's like, for one, now we potentially do have sleeper builds. Like, and we don't usually get that in the Diablo season.
Yeah.
Like, everything's usually figured out.
And that's cool. That is cool.
That's cool. But at the same time, like, that seems stupidly strong. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's see how it plays out.
Yeah.
But if it does play out like you're thinking, and
sure,
you know, it could be broken.
It could be super
stupid broken. It'd be interesting. That's kind of brings back to the topic of, I love PTRs and I love getting to test things. How cool would it be? Like, it's such a double-edged sword, because at one point it was like, we need to test, we want to know if this is broken, or we need to know like, hey, give feedback so we can have the season be better. But at the same time, if they just dropped the changes on us and the season went live, you know, like, how cool would that be? We'd be like, we don't know. We don't know what's awesome.
And like GGG does that. Like Path of Exile does that. But I also think like Path of Exile has like a dedicated team of testers to like really plug and play at the changes that they make. Versus I don't think that Diablo has that in its current form. I think they're just kind of like, we think this will work. And then they rely on the community, which, you know, they should, you know, if they don't have the resources for their own like QA. But yeah.
A part of me is like, I love the way we have it now, and part of me is wishing that they just drop it so we wouldn't know for the surprise factor.
Right.
Whichever way we have it, I'd want the other though. I'd be like, you know, if they always dropped it on us, I'd be like, man, well, they just
damn.
let us
I wish
test
we could
this
have tested it. Yeah.
This is stupid. We could have tested this. And then, you know, part of me is like, but it'd be fun to have.
Sure.
You know?
Sure. But moving on to more BlizzCon hype. I don't know if you saw this or not, but basically a Hearthstone dev said this in an interview, and this was last week. Someone asked him, "Can you spoil what you'll be announcing at BlizzCon? We promise not to tell anyone." The dev says, "Yeah, if you don't tell anyone, BlizzCon will be better than it has been in like 10 years. It's going to be amazing."
I mean, like, he has to say that, though?
That's a big statement, though.
That's a super big statement. And is he talking specifically about Hearthstone? Or is he just saying BlizzCon's going to have drops, you know? Because let's think about it. If they dropped D4 and then they dropped WoW expansion.
Retail WoW expansion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's ridiculously big in itself.
Okay. Well, of course they're going to drop Hearthstone content. Like,
and
they
they're
pump
going to
out
always
Hearthstone.
drop a Hearthstone expansion. I mean, that's just like, yo, guys, make some cards
Sure.
up.
New Overwatch character or something. It's going to be like, I think they'll probably announce maybe this like next Overwatch thing that maybe they're working on. Or maybe even like a new IP. Maybe that's why he's like, oh, it's the best.
New IP would be baller, but I don't know, man. There's nothing's been leaking out. If they have a new IP, they've been amazing at keeping it under wraps.
Yeah.
You know? Because in this day, like, everything leaks. Everything.
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
If they did a new IP, all right, here we go. Let's go down the rabbit hole just a little bit.
Okay.
If they did a new IP, what would you want it to be? Like, we'll start genre. Like, what is it? A shooter, MMO, RTS, you know, obviously ARPG. We're an ARPG podcast, so we're going to assume that Diablo 4 is
Diablo 4 is already
in
coming.
the pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not going to be ARPG.
Right.
It's like, what do we got?
Well, I originally would have guessed, like 3 years ago, I would have guessed a FPS PvE game.
Yeah.
But, Bungie
Destiny
was part
competitor.
of that. And they just lost them. So I don't think it would be that.
Do you think they lost them because they're going to drop their own shit, though? That kind of makes, you know what I mean? It's like,
but I thought it was like Bungie more like wanting to leave.
You guys, that's what I thought too. You guys didn't really work out. We're going to cut ties.
Or maybe Bungie was like, why are you fucking making a
competitor?
Like, why would you make a competitor for us?
Right. I don't know, man. So if you could pick one though, what are you going to pick? Like, you get to.
I mean,
you're the dude.
It's tough because, like, to me, the biggest gaps, but they own. I mean, so they just lost Bungie, and so they don't have the PvE or the FPS PvE game, and they don't have like a BR. I mean, it's Activision umbrella, so they have COD, but Blizzard might, want to put their own spin on a BR.
Do you think the BR genre is still the thing? Do you think that hype train's going down a little bit? I think it's dying some, man.
I don't know about that because you look at all like the biggest streamers, still like 9 out of 10 of them
Fortnite.
are BR players. Yeah. So.
I don't know. If I could pick, I think I would go looter shooter because I don't think Blizzard has that locked up yet. Not with their own IP. I think that's the one hole they have left to kind of fill.
I could see like Overwatch absorbing that. Like Overwatch could very easily be a PvE.
Yeah, they could. Overwatch 2 could be a thing.
Yeah.
It could, instead of being an arena shooter, it could be PvE shooter.
Right.
So it'd be fun. But
yeah,
I don't know, man.
That's big
Yeah,
news.
the best one in 10 years. We'll see if it lives up to the hype.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be a D4 announcement. I'm gonna run with this.
Sure.
We're getting D4, and I'll tell you what, man. WoW killed WoW. So I don't know. Like everybody was always for the last 15 years. They've been like, oh, the WoW killer, the WoW killer. You know what killed WoW is vanilla WoW. This is going to be interesting to see how this plays out for WoW, because I think this is cool as this hype is like right now. I don't know how this could end up being a good thing for the franchise unless they decide like, and this is some theories that I've heard going around, is that they're going to take vanilla WoW and branch it off as a different timeline. And instead of, they can still continue retail WoW now, but just go down a different path with WoW Classic and just redo everything and do whatever they want with it. And I think that would be an awesome thing. But This next WoW expansion's got to be legit. It's got to be, oh shit! All right, this makes me want to go back to retail, because,
yeah,
I don't know, man.
I get it.
It's been like good expansion, shit expansion, good expansion, shit expansion. So
what was the last one? Was the last one good or shit?
I feel like it was shitty, personally. I mean, compared to Legion, I think it was way worse than Legion was.
That's kind of the impression I got as well. But
yeah, I didn't like it that much. So I think we're due for something awesome. Hopefully, I wouldn't say it's shitty. Like, it's not like WoD or Cataclysm, but it wasn't the best for sure.
But here we go again, starting up the BlizzCon hype train. It's like,
so here, man, we gotta get D4. I mean, we have to. I don't see how they don't drop D4.
The only reason I think it's not D4 is because they didn't invite me, and like, why would you not invite the face of Diablo to announce? This doesn't add up.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't have an explanation for you, dude. I wish I did.
I'm just fucking around. All right.
So, but they did invite. They invited Quinn. Like they reached out to Quinn.
Sure.
They've invited a
the
lot
Diablo,
of
like where the Diablo team reached out to Quinn. That's the important part. Like the Diablo.
Yeah, the Diablo team reached out to Quinn. The Diablo team invited me, and like I'm not on anybody's radar probably. So it just feels like they just didn't like you. I don't know why. I'm sorry, man.
It's fine. I'm just making jokes. All right, but moving on. So I thought this was like maybe even bigger. This is like, it's just like a slow clap for me. So Chris Wilson, a PoE, someone asked him, like, Chris Wilson says, we have a lot of stuff to announce, which we can't get into details because someone's asking him about PoE, con, exile con that's happening 2 weeks after BlizzCon. And he goes, as you guys know, BlizzCon will be happening 2 weeks before ExileCon. If I'm a betting man, one of their announcements might involve a certain Diablo game, and they have been known to provide quality products as well. Our goal with our announcement is to show how our game matches up so people can think about the two products and to show the best action ARPG that we can possibly make. It's like the classic David versus Goliath story.
I mean, that's packed. That's loaded as fuck.
Super fucking loaded.
Okay, like, first off, Chris Wilson has insides at Blizzard. I don't care. He knows people that know people.
He's in the biz, man. Yeah.
He's in the biz, and not only is he in the biz, the dude's got enough money, and he knows people. Yeah. Like, somebody is on his payroll.
And his biggest competitor is Diablo.
Yeah, I guarantee he knows what's up.
Sure.
So he just leaked Diablo 4 is going to get announced. Okay?
Sure.
And if he knows that, then he's like, listen, boys, Diablo 4 is going to get announced, and we're on stage a week and a half later or 2 weeks later, whatever it is. We're gonna try to shit on Diablo 4.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Like, they're going to try to shit on Diablo 4 and make it look like we got this. Yeah. So I bet they got some shit cooked up, man.
To me,
they do.
It's exactly. To me, he's like, even if Diablo 4 gets announced, I feel like
don't care.
What we're announcing is like equally as POG, which is like that. And we've said that a lot, right? Like, we've talked about, like, PoE comes out and they say this is a mega expansion, and PoE saying mega is like, that already sounds crazy. But now Chris Wilson's like I'm not that worried, like, no problem.
Like, I got this. Yeah. Unless he knows they're announcing Immortal, unless that Diablo game is Immortal.
Sure.
And in that case, I think it does. He's good then.
Sure.
He's good. Jokes aside, though, this guy's got to know what's going down. So it makes me excited, man. So either way, if we get Diablo 4 and we're super pog, and then PoE drops some good shit, like, competition is amazing for us. Like, we have two options, two awesome choices, two good games to play.
Yeah.
And they can both be good. I can play both of them. If PoE comes out and it's amazing, it's not like people take this black or white. Like, I have to play Diablo 4.
You have to choose
have
one.
to play Path of Exiles. And it's like, dude, playing both.
Sure.
Like, what's the problem?
That's what I've been preaching. Ebony and Ivory, baby.
Doing both, man.
Yeah.
So,
that's juicy.
That's awesome.
So that's two. Obviously, one, we're seeing a trend that like, we feel like Diablo 4 is coming. I know we did this last year, but like we really feel like it's coming this time around.
I think it's got to. If they don't announce it this time, then.
And two, it makes like me pog out a little bit more because potentially I'm going to BlizzCon, and I'm definitely going to ExileCon. So like to be there for both, right, will be just like insane.
Yeah,
so,
it's gonna be crazy. That's a lot of traveling, man.
Yeah, but I love the travel.
So yeah, I'll save that. I'm gonna save that for another podcast.
But yeah, big stuff. But moving on. I thought this was really interesting. I saw this post on Reddit. So there's a website out there, and just to plug the website real quick, because it is useful. So there's a website called d3resource.com. It's got links to everything you could possibly want for Diablo. Plus, it's got something that people use a lot, which is like the ability to kind of track your seasonal conquest progression. And you can like check it off as you go. So a lot of people use that. And so based on that data, since Blizzard doesn't provide us any data, basically for like the population and how popular seasons are and stuff like that, he put together, like his findings on what his site has been getting hit with. And like based on that, like maybe we can gauge the popularity of seasons, which is probably pretty accurate, but it's the best we can do is basically in a nutshell. Right. So I thought that was super, super interesting. First of all, this was super surprising to me. So season 11 is not the highest, which was the launch of Necro.
Yeah, that's surprising to me. Well, it's not though to me.
Really?
Yeah. So 12 to me was bigger. It felt bigger to me, and this data supports that. That rebalancing hit everybody.
Sure.
So if you didn't like Necro, or you didn't have money to spend on Necro, or whatever the case may be, season 12 was your season though, because your class got retooled. So I get that.
But yeah, so you guys don't know, maybe you haven't played everything. So season 11, Necro came out. Season 12, they did this like big like balance patch where like basically every set got touched.
But look at the width of season 11 though.
Yeah.
So season 12 peaked higher, but season 11 looks like it had the most longevity of any season that's on this graph.
Right. So. And to add to what you're saying, so if you look at season of Rorg and then season of Lon, it's kind of like that same thing. So season of Necro, and I think we see that longevity, that slower slope down, because like obviously a ton of new items were added to the game. So there's like way more farming over time that has to happen. And the same thing I'd say probably with season of Lon is like, to really progress in season of Lon, you have to like, get ancient everything. And so that increased the progression. But if you look at like season 12, super fast spike, not a lot to farm. Season 16 even, like, which was the most popular season outside of season 12 really, that also super spiked down.
Look at those weird little spikes on season 9 and season 12.
Yeah.
Like the season's starting to die. I wonder what happened there.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened. BlizzCon tickets go on sale.
I mean, that's another thing, right? To add to the peak is like the season 12. Well, that was like a week after BlizzCon.
Yeah.
So like that's to be considered too. There was obviously a lot of controversy at the time, and being at Diablo stream was very interesting at the time. So that could account for that too. So it could put, but to add to what you said, it seems like the biggest trend for the biggest spikes in players coming back seems to be balance changes, because season 12 balance change, season 16 balance change. Which is super interesting. And you can see here, season 14, which was the first seasonal theme, that didn't really draw that many players.
Didn't do that well, yeah.
And then season 15, double bounties, which I thought did maybe better than goblins. Apparently didn't,
Right.
Because to me, that's way better than double goblins.
It's interesting, man. It would be cool to get this info.
Yeah, the proper info, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool to even get this info from other sites. Like,
sure.
So this website's, it's awesome, but this isn't probably like the biggest resource.
Yeah, for sure.
And outside of an official sanctioned Blizzard numbers, what do you think's the biggest Diablo? It's got to be Diablo fans.
Yeah, D-fans, for sure.
It's got to be D-fans. So D-fans
and then D3 planner. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. And YouTube could even pull these search results and stuff too.
Sure.
Like I don't know if there's public data available on YouTube.
To me, like
search queries. That'd be interesting to see though.
To me,
like Diablo hits.
Like, and I'm mostly like a Necro content creator. To me, it's been just like, steady slope. Like Necro first came out, we're talking like 500 to 800,000 views like per guide on the videos. And now we're like 20 to 40K.
Yeah.
And it's just been like.
Yeah, it's the same. It was the same for me.
Down. So I don't know, maybe because there's not a lot of new stuff coming out every season, but.
Yeah. Well, I can, you can see that with the communities too. You have the same people come back, but I have people I haven't seen in a long time.
Sure.
Like, yo, what's up, man? I'm not playing Diablo anymore. I just wanted to come say hi, though. What's up? How you doing?
Sure.
Hope stuff's going well. I'm like, yo, what's... But, so I get a lot of that. I think, is anything... I get a lot... I'm sure you do, too. At least at the start of the season, they're like, hey, has anything changed? What's new? Should I come back and play? I'm sure you get a lot of those questions, too.
Yeah.
So, and then you tell them the changes, and they're like... Either, oh, that's cool, I'll try it out, or they're like, lol, left.
Right.
Has
left the channel, right?
Yeah, right. That's it, lol. So
yeah. In other Diablo news, Brandy Camel, the community manager, received a promotion. She's now the community manager for all things for Diablo, up from associate.
Nice.
So congratulations to her.
And
then she goes on to, just in a random Reddit post, she kind of clarified. She said,
I read this.
She says, to clarify, I kind of have been. I was promoted associate community manager to community manager. It was always a lot easier just to call me CM externally because it's easier to parse, and sometimes character limit issues were a problem. CM structures are different at every company. And in Blizzard's in particular has changed drastically over the years. So I guess the order of operations is like community representative is like entry level, and like maybe even people just like selected on the forums.
Right.
And then associate community manager, which is what she was. And then community manager, which I'm surprised. I always thought that she was community manager. I didn't even know like associate.
I did too.
Yeah.
I didn't know, but
because like who else was there? Yeah. I guess there was the
they had Lashes for a little bit.
Yeah, Lashes. I guess she was an associate too. Like,
I'm not really sure.
And who was the community manager for Diablo? If there's that role, who was it before?
There are some guys on the forums whose names are slipping my mind right now, but
yeah,
she's always been the public face to me.
100%. Yeah.
So
and then there's manage community team lead. So I guess that would probably be across like all communities. I don't know that Diablo would have just a community manager.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to theory craft here, but a promotion when D4 is about to drop seems about right. You're going to need that community manager to step it up. Sure. So you're going to have all these new responsibilities.
Yeah. And then she goes on to say, functionally to the community, this doesn't change anything. It's great personal growth for me and nice recognition. So congrats to Brandy Camel.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to touch on, so I finally, one of the things we've been talking about over the course of like the last 4 podcasts is like, so we saw that huge barbarian, like just sheet of like, this is what we should change and this is why and blah, blah, blah. And it seems like Blizzard kind of reacted to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, maybe like I should do that. And so I kind of sat down and made...
You wrote a thesis?
The thing for Necro, basically.
Okay.
So I just want to... talk about it. We'll just go through it as fast as we possibly can because it's big. So, the few of the complaints... I've been playing Necro since Season 11 pretty much exclusively. I've got just stupid amount of hours in Necro. And the 3 things I've heard time and time again, and I'm sure you get this too because you played Necro, is 1, like the push builds are lame, right? Thorns is OP. And so, to me, 1, like Thorns is basically just in the game because it's to try to invoke nostalgia from Diablo 2. And if you read how Thorns works in Diablo 3, and we talked about this before, but like it's supposed to do damage by mobs attacking your pets. Mm-hmm. And there's no way to force mobs to attack your pets on the Necro. Like your pets can't taunt.
You can't. Yeah, right.
So, that's obviously broken. And 3, obviously, there's no question whether or not Necro is kind of ultimately taking advantage of very non-legitimate game mechanics anyways. Like, we can pull up that video of like a GR 148 and the guy dies in like 3 seconds. You know what I mean? Like the RG just gets fucking melted. So, I mean, obviously Thorns is just busted. It doesn't play properly and it plays super slow. Like Thorns as a mechanic, and I don't know if you agree, but like you do damage by mobs hitting you and like that's it. Especially on a Necro, you're not auto attacking, you're not doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm sure there's somebody out there that loves Thorns. And
sure,
it's their favorite build,
right?
And they're gonna hate me for saying this. I think Thorns is the build in any game. It doesn't matter if it was Thorns Necro, Thorns Crusader is okay.
Sure,
like after
at least you're attacking and you do damage based on the amount of Thorns you have, right?
Yeah, but that. Man, Thorns Necros just shouldn't be a thing. Mm-hmm. Like I don't like it. To be totally fair, I haven't spent time trying to build it because I've seen it and I've seen people play it, and I'm like, this is not what I want to do.
Right.
And so I kind of boycott it on a morality basis. Sure. I guess is the only way to say that. But I'm with you, man. I don't like it, and I don't think it's engaging or fun, and I can't imagine or that many people are out there going like, I can't wait to build my Thorns Necro this season.
There's always
I'm going to do it because it's the best. It's the best, so you're going to do it.
Right. But do you
not
want
because
to,
you want to do it,
And there's always those players out there that like, what's the laziest possible I can make? And like they might like,
Yeah, like I said, I'm sure there are some people out there that love this.
Right.
And the guy that designed it, the dev that designed it, maybe this is his baby, and like, dude, I'm sorry.
Right.
But
the second thing I hear all the time is Land of Dead's in every build, right? So,
because it is,
it's like 95% true. Like
it's a super OP skill. I mean, it's GG.
But my opinion and my stance is like you can't rework Land of Dead without basically killing every Necro build that's ever been a thing, and you can't like remove the skill because obviously that would have the same effect. But we could push the Necro sets away from using Land of the Dead. Like the other ones, right? Like the ones that need, obviously, help. So that's kind of where I went with this. And then the last thing is, Necro Squishy, right? Like every single season, it's like I died nonstop in revs. What am I doing wrong? You're not really doing anything wrong. That's just the fucking Necro.
I think that goes for Witch Doctor, too, after playing it. Like
really?
It feels pretty squished, too. Yeah. It's, like Barb and Crusader and Monk get that 35% damage reduction passively.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I don't know if it should be extended to all the classes. I don't know. I don't know how you fix it without being like, okay, well, now everything's just tougher.
Sure. And the weird thing about it is, like, so Necro actually has, like, unique ways of having mitigation. Like, Wisdom of Kalan is unique to the Necro. But unfortunately, it's a jewelry slot, so we can't really, like, use it because there's just too many things that are good. That we'd rely on for our damage. You have Golem Skin, but the damage mod is just like so weak. And then you have Sunstone, which is really just completely worthless unless you're playing a support class that has like tons of mitigation and tons of health pool. Because if you guys don't know how Lorinel's works, is like the lower your health, the more mitigation you get, but the Necro gets one shot. So like all that mitigation is completely ignored 100% of the time.
Is ignored, right. And something else, like on another kind of note, is Necro's cheat death passive is punishing. Like it doesn't make any sense. It makes zero sense.
Right.
Everybody else is like, yo, you just like, you're cool. Like you get like Crusader, you ignore the death, you get healed to full, and you're immune damage for X, Y, Z seconds.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty OP, right?
Right.
Necro, we're going to sacrifice your pets. We're going to make you alive again. And then I don't think there's an immunity buff, right, at all. You
get 4 seconds of immunity. Yeah, 4 seconds.
Do you get 4 seconds? Okay, so yeah, you get the 4 seconds.
Right.
But your pets, like, just take the pet deaths out of there. Like, that's...
And you're not wrong. So, like, one of the things I suggest is Final Service. So, like, literally, and I don't mean this as a meme, but you remove 3 words from the passive, and it fixes it.
Yeah.
Like 3 words from the sentence. Like, you don't even have to change anything. So, you know, right now it says you heal for 10%. Like, your minions are sacrificed, and you heal for 10% of life per minion. If you just remove, like, your minions are sacrificed or whatever, like, it's gone. Like, so you get
just heal
10
you.
seconds.
Like, everybody else gets to heal. Like, why? I don't understand.
Right.
Like, it's like a lore perspective and RP perspective. Like, oh, how cool would it be if the Necro sacks his pets to save himself? Like, that's super cool in RP.
Yeah.
But in actual practice,
it's
like, no.
Yeah.
Like, everybody else gets this cool, awesome. Like, just give it to us.
And you play, you know, I'm sure anyone in the chat that's played mages is like, well, shit, I just procced. I was like, well, now I guess I just wait 4 seconds until I die.
Yeah.
Or just try to survive.
Like, well,
hopefully I've landed the dead up or something. Yeah, it's like, it's awful. Yeah. You're just dead in the water. So yeah, what I suggest, obviously, number 1 is nerf thorns. Not only nerf thorns because it's broken, but we can't make these other suggestions without nerfing thorns because it would just be too strong if we did any of these other things. 2, obviously buff Trag'Oul 6-piece, but to do that, we'd have to drastically change or remove the Bloodlance rune. Because if we just buff Trag'Oul 6-piece, Bloodlancer would just become, you know, season 11 push build would just become a thing again.
Right.
And we don't want that. So we have to remove thorns, we have to remove Trag, or we have to remove Bloodlance, because otherwise, if you buff Trag, you're going to either buff the fuck out of Revive Thorns, or you're going to buff the shit out of Bloodlancer, and that's just not what we want. The second thing I say is buff Pestilence slightly, so that it's better than Lawn Cold Lancer. Or just beats it just a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you know, you probably agree, but Pestilence Cold Lancer is just, if you're going to play Lancer, that's the build.
Pestilence that's what it is. That was built for that, and it feels good.
Yeah,
for what
it's smooth. It's polished.
You either hate it or you love it.
Right.
Like, you know, you're on the fence. But if you get it built out properly, it is a solid build that feels well designed, in my opinion.
100%.
You know? And I like it.
Exactly.
So.
Then we go on and say, so we start with the quick wins, right? So these are really easy things to do from like a developer's perspective. Next, we could add a bracer, a brand new bracer for the Necro. Increases the damage of Corpse Explosion by X% if there are Y or fewer targets. It's not going to break anything, but it's going to make, Corpse Explosion a better skill.
Single targets, Rip Guardians, things like that.
Exactly. It's going to make it better for speed farming. People love Corpse Explosion, but they don't really get to use it in the current state of the game. And that would definitely draw players in. Another big change, buff an Arya 6-piece, no brainer. It just needs a little bit more. We already know that.
Right.
Another thing, I don't know if you agree with this or not, but Jess's set changed so that it's a 400 flat damage mod if your skeletons are commanded instead of just being minions.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So that would just make it incredibly more viable across Necro, because not only because skeletons can proc Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac, but like you can finally use it on a non-pet build. It has a ton of uses. And then we say Final Service. We also say Golem Skin. We change that to 80% reduction. Like give it a Band of Might level damage mitigation.
Okay.
And that could solve a lot of our issues. Because one of the things, and that might seem really strong for players that are like really fucking good at Necro, but your demographic is like players that are just, they're like really casually playing, and like those players are getting just fucked.
And you got to mix them in. You got to mix them in too. Right. You're trying to figure out. You're giving up something.
You're getting
to
something to
that.
get Golem Skin.
You're giving up something in the cube, or you're giving up something on your character. So.
Right. And then we go into like, okay, let's throw out probability and let's go crazy, right?
Right.
So one of the things we want to do is, so you've played Poison Scythe. I don't know if you've ever tried it or not, but it's clunky. It doesn't feel great. But the idea is, so we add a new bracer, and this might like get hard to like envision, but we add a new bracer that gives Skeletal Mage now lasts forever, but you can only have one active at a time. Increase the damage of Skeletal Mage by X% for every enemy killed within Y range up to a maximum of 20. So everything that gets killed around it will like juice it up, but it's stationary and you can only ever have one.
Okay, so it's a totem, or it follows you.
Basically, have you ever seen the poison rune on the mage? He stands still and he like casts a nova. And it's really cool looking, but like no one ever uses it because why would you?
So you're just toteming him. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm following you so fast. But it's an easy way to think of it if you're trying to visualize it.
Right.
It's
Exactly.
a totem.
We're gonna revamp Fate's Vow, which is the helmet that gives like a rune on Army of the Dead, which is completely useless currently. We're gonna make that give the Death Valley rune, which I don't know if you know, but that's the one that sucks everything in. Like all the Army of the Dead like comes in a circle and like sucks everything.
I don't think I've ever used it.
It's amazing. Yeah. It looks so fucking cool, but like you just never use it because Army of the Dead's like worthless. And we're gonna make that because in Poison Scythe you have to dump your essence somehow, and the only way to do that right now is with Singularity Mage, and it has no synergy with the build whatsoever. And so Lawn Scythe is like a very small frontal cone, so we're gonna use Death Valley to suck everything in, and it's our essence dump, so it works with the build. It's also a poison skill since we're getting the Army of the Dead rune for free, or the Death Valley rune for free. So we suck everything on top of the mage, and we're swiping everything down. Great AoE with Poison Scythe, but it doesn't stop there. We get Command Golem and Decay Golem, significantly increase the damage per corpse consumed. So Decay Golem basically consumes. We'll have all these corpses right after we kill this like massive screen. We don't use Devour in this build, so we're gonna have all these corpses sitting on the ground. So what we can do is Decay Golem eats all those corpses and becomes like stronger.
Super Golem. Yeah, that's badass.
Right.
I like that. Yeah.
So we have the Skeleton Mage that's stationary who gets juiced up from kills. We got the Command Golem who eats all the corpses that become more powerful. Obviously the trade-off there being is that the Command Golem, Decay Golem would be like kind of a temporary buff, and the Mage stays in place. So it's like you have to try to like really, and that could get probably
you're going to balance it.
Right.
And it's also got that freight train mentality going too, because getting started, you're not going to have the juice to make the corpses. So like once you get rolling, it's just going to, it'll be cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Trag. So first we give the Bone Prism passive rework. So blood spells have a 15% chance to stun targets for 1.5 seconds and traps the target in a bone prison for 3 seconds. This is basically just so that we have a means of proccing Crispin's Ends without running Bone Armor Dislocation and without running Land of Death. That's basically the only reason it's there. But we also buff Trag'Oul 6-piece like we did before, and now it has a necklace, so it's going to give you more options. 2-piece stays the same. 6-piece, we get buffed, but we also add a mod on it that says increases the damage of corpse explosion for every corpse in X radius up to a maximum of 15. So every corpse that's on the ground, you get more corpse explosion damage.
Okay.
And then we have that bracer, that new bracer that we added that gets more damage if there's only, X amount of targets. So the idea is we get this like Blood Nova, right? Which is amazing for AoE. Insane for AoE. Yeah. And we get it to cast for free because it's Iron Rose. So we don't need Devour. And so we like deal with the AoE, and then we have all these corpses on the ground. And I don't know if you've ever seen the Blood Rune on Corpse Explosion, but it's like this little spider.
I don't remember.
It's a little spider, and he like chases down. He like tracks the nearest mob. It's like the coolest looking shit. Like, and it just never ever gets used. And so the idea is like all the trash is dead. There's just one guy left, right? It's like the elite or the Rift Guardian, and you get souped up single target corpse explosion damage, and it's like these little spider guys that like track towards the target and just like fucking
right at him.
Wreck his shit.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, and then finally, this is the last thing. We're gonna rework Bones of Rathma set. So originally I wasn't gonna do that because like Rathma's fine, but like Lawn Singularity Speed or Singularity, like no one's ever gonna play Rathma again. Like it's completely outdone by Lawn Mage. Like it's like you could use it until you get Lawn Mage, and like that sucks. Right. Like that's the worst for a set. And I get that like a lot, like Monk has that too, right?
Right.
So we kind of played around with the idea last week when we started talking about like, okay, the future of Diablo post, where like we're gonna add a new set for every class, and then like obviously the first thing that comes to mind is like Revive for Necro, but Rathma's never going to get used again, so we might as well make Rathma the pet set. So I thought of just like a really easy, fast way to do this, and it's like the least exciting probably of all the ideas, but like the idea is we can get them maybe to do like if they could just revamp Rathma a little bit before the new set, like so we can get like an actual new set.
Right.
But so 2-piece, you get consume revive triggers cannibalize. So like you have ways of getting essence back since like revive consumes stuff on the ground. 4-piece, you get mitigation for each active minion, and 6 beats, you get damage for every active minion. And the cooldown of Bone Spirit is reduced by 10 seconds and travels 1,000% faster. So the idea is to summon literally everything the Necro has. Like you got skeletons, you've got the Golem, you've got Revive with its 10 minions, you've got your mages, you can have 10 mages, you're going to have like, I don't know, it's like 37 mobs or something, which is just nutso. And so you're going to have a really good damage modifier. And then Bone Spirit Possession is the one that charms. So you're going to get like a little bit more value by getting like another mob. So
I'm with you. I like it, man. I like those changes.
So yeah, that's basically it. And if you guys, and that leaves us like, that means the new set could be something totally different, and they can make it like a Bone Spear set, because Bone Spear is not really being utilized at all either. So, but yeah, check out the post, guys. Go drop a heart on it if you can, you know, get some visibility on it. I'm not saying like what I'm suggesting should be what Necro is, but like it's some of the better ideas, I think. And it's not just like me, like we all kind of pitched in and did this over the course of like 2 days. So
it's pretty cool, man. It's a lot of work to put something like that together.
For sure.
That's cool.
Read it at least, right?
It's deleted tomorrow.
Right. So. Sure. Or maybe I should have had you post it or something. Like maybe Bloodshed.
You know, that would have been a great idea.
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah.
Well, rip Necro, guys. It gets deleted. Necro just gets deleted next patch.
Yeah, it's right. We decided to refund everybody's Necro.
Yeah.
No,
I wanted to
cool,
ask you something, though, to go back to Classic WoW for a second. I mean, you played vanilla, right? You played a lot of vanilla?
I did. I played crazy amounts of vanilla.
So, you know, one of the things that is kind of mind-blowing to me is like, again, we've talked about, but you know what to expect, right? You know what's in store. And you know how to do it. Like, there's no, like, how do we do this period? There's no that, like, ooh, first mythic, whatever, right? You have to figure out the mechanics and stuff. So how long do you think it will take, like, the top players to do all the content?
Yeah, this is interesting. I remember reading an article that when Vanilla WoW launched, the first boss kill in MC was 4 months after it launched or something like that. And the first clear was another 2 months after that for a full MC clear.
What's MC?
Molten Core.
Okay.
The first raid. Okay. So
that's
first
Ragnaros or something?
Ragnaros, yeah. Something, you know, the numbers may be slightly off, but it was very staggering numbers. Like that's to show the difficulty of attunements and gearing and leveling and getting 40 people together.
40 people?
Mechanics. 40
in a raid? Is that what this vanilla is like?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
40 peeps, man. 40 peeps. And so I think that's going to happen significantly faster now because I think people, like, things didn't exist. The tools we have now didn't exist back then. You didn't have websites. You didn't have YouTube guides. You didn't have, I mean, maybe was YouTube out when vanilla launched? Like, maybe it was like in its inception, you know? I mean, like, I think YouTube launched in like 2006 or 2005. So it's like, you know, around that same time period. But people in general, I think, are used to mechanics and used to those things. So it's going to be significantly faster this time.
So are 100%. There like, you know, like deadly boss is that an add-on that's like?
It is, but like things like that will exist now.
Right.
That didn't exist in vanilla unless Blizzard blocks it. You know, which they could block it, but it's because people have had 15 years of this, you know, the coding language, the LUA scripting that they use in WoW. They got 15 years of experience, man. And these guys that make these add-ons, I don't know if they can generate revenue doing this to support themselves or if it's a hobby. I don't really know the dynamic between it for these huge add-ons that get, you know, millions of downloads a week. But those things didn't exist really like like they do now.
Sure.
So we'll see. You know, it's going to be crazy, man.
This sounds pretty
crazy. And I went back. I have some recordings of me playing vanilla and like our first Ragnaros kill. I have that you know, recording saved and I would go back and just watch myself play and I'm like, God damn, I sucked. You know, I'm like looking at it now, like 15 years of playing a game.
Right.
even though it's fundamentally changed a lot, like there's so many things that you just get better at, you know, that you don't have to think about.
So was there
versus 4 months in or 5
was there
months.
content between Vanilla and Burning Crusade?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
they dropped patches. Like when it launched, they put Maraudin in really early on. Molten Core dropped first, and they added Blackwing Lair. Then they added AQ40 and AQ20 and ZF. So yeah, they had a bunch of drops. Naxxramas was the last one that people didn't even really get to do. So yep,
Gotcha.
it was there, man. But the thing is like over the 15 years, like all these things that I'm used to now, I'm like, yo, how do I set a focus frame? And they're like, you can't. That wasn't in vanilla. And I'm like, what? That wasn't in vanilla. They're like, no, they added that in BC, or they added that in Wrath. Or I'm like, damn. And so, you know, just all these little things that you're like didn't exist, and you're just so used to them being there. Like, oh crap, I can't do that either. All right. So
that's crazy.
It's fun. I'm ready to see how long it's gonna last. Like, you know, what's gonna happen? Eventually, there's an end game. Like, you know, a year from now, 2 years from now. You've done all of the vanilla content again. Why are you going to keep playing it?
How fast do you think they'll add this like second raid?
I think they're going to creep it out kind of slow. I think it'll be a slower pace than the vanilla, honestly.
Really?
I don't know. I mean, I think they have it mapped out. I think they have these phases mapped out. I haven't researched it much because I'm kind of just like excited to see what they do. So
I would think you'd have to play it by ear, because like there's that potential, because this isn't Discovery. Like the people are just gonna like fly through the content.
Yeah, they can't drop it all in at once. They're gonna definitely tier it. They're calling it phases.
But I'm saying, like,
they're gonna,
if they had a plan originally, it's like, okay, we'll make it like a slow trickle, but then like people just master the content so insanely fast that like, well, you have to speed up the trickle, right? Like,
no, I think you just make people wait.
Okay.
You know, I think you're just like, nah. You just chill. You know,
do you think there'd be that same passion to like get all the achievements and like level unarmed and all that crap?
I don't know. See, man, the thing, like, I was talking about this with my brother. My brother and I played vanilla together, and we played all the way through retail, or currently. And so I go back and I'm like, man, you know, I got that ZG mount on my real account, like with him back in, you know, it wasn't vanilla. I think it was BC, but I'm like, I have to get that again now. Like, that's such a super rare, iconic drop, and now I don't have it again. And I'd spent so much of my life grinding that stupid tiger mount that I got to get it again. And it's like, do I want to do that? I don't. That's the question. Do you want to do that again?
Right.
And for what?
Right.
You know.
So
you know.
Yeah, that's weird, because like you'd have, like, if you played vanilla, like, so you on your retail WoW character, you would have like those achievements.
Right, yeah,
like,
I have some of that vanilla shit that's like gone and super rare, and it's like, wait, I've already done this.
Right, that's
you know?
so weird. That's so weird.
But that's the thing. It's like starting over. It's like, okay, here you go.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to do it. You can still play your retail account.
Yeah.
So, I think the biggest thing for me that comes out of this is, are they going to eventually launch BC, and are they going to eventually alternate timeline this to like, okay, here you had your vanilla, now you can take your vanilla character, instead of going to BC, we're going to take you to this expansion, which you've never seen before. And I think that's where the real potential lies in this classic relaunch. Like, sure, dude, people are going to come in and play the shit out of it. But then as soon as they say, we got this alternate expansion timeline for classic, that's when people are going to be like, oh my God. All right, I'm down. I'm leveling a classic character.
Sure.
You know, I got to see this new stuff. And that gives them potential to like alter the time and make whatever story they want. They can rewrite everything. So
what, in your opinion, like, where did they kind of go off of the path that the community like wanted? What was the expansion that like really didn't resonate?
For me, I can only speak from my experiences and my friends. Like, you know, obviously you can tell when your friends quit playing.
Sure.
Like that, okay, that did it. For me, it was Cataclysm. So
that was
Cataclysm,
after Lich King or whatever?
It was after Wrath. It's the 4th expansion. So it was Vanilla, BC, Wrath, then Cataclysm. So the 4th, you know, if you count Vanilla, it's the 4th expansion.
And why do you think that, like, what was it about Cataclysm? Do you remember?
Just, I don't know, man. There's people theorycraft this a lot, and much more WoW experts than I am.
Sure.
But some people say it was the dungeon finders and the raid finders. They oversimplified the game. They over casualified the game to where you didn't have that super grind to get those things. And then when you did get the things, it didn't make it seem like hey, look at me.
Sure.
I'm gonna go stand in the middle of Stormwind or stand in the middle of Orgrimmar, and just people are gonna be like, oh shit, this guy's got he's got the mount from killing impossible whatever, you know. So I don't know. For me personally, it just didn't resonate, man.
Sure.
And my friends stopped playing, and maybe it was just that time in my life when I got old and I had responsibilities and I couldn't play 40 hours a week anymore, you know.
Yeah.
So,
what was the expansion you had your first kid?
Wrath.
Damn.
Wrath, yeah.
That was a good
well,
one.
Not necessarily. So I had kids throughout the whole thing, but I had my two youngest. So there's an age gap between my two oldest and my two youngest, and so like when my two oldest were kind of like out of that infant stage,
yeah.
And when I was in WoW, but then my two youngest, I had my first, my second daughter right as Wrath hit, and so that was like newborn baby, and WoW was like it was right at the end of Wrath, and that kind of maybe that resonated it too, you know.
Damn.
So,
yeah.
But it's interesting to see. You can't please everybody forever.
Yeah.
And that's the thing we talk about all the time. It's okay to play other games.
Yeah.
Like, man, I love variety. I love to play a lot of stuff. And so to me, it's like I'll play WoW and I'll play Diablo and I'll play Destiny and all these other games.
Yeah.
And I love the cadence of like Destiny's got new content in October. I'm super excited for it. I'm glad it didn't launch this month because we got Classic.
Right.
And then we're going to hopefully get Diablo 4. And then, all these things are going to keep snowballing. Like you said earlier, Borderlands 3. So PoE's got that expansion coming up. So
yeah,
it'll be fun.
It will be fun. And I troll
it's a great time to be
all the time. Like I'm excited for you guys are excited for this Classic WoW. Like I don't get it. I don't need to get it. Obviously people love it. Mm-hmm. So like I know what it's like to be excited.
It's different, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Like you're right. Like so like last night you came in and you trolled me a little bit. You're like, what did you say? Something about like
immersion.
Yeah. Great immersion or something. I don't know. Or interesting. I don't know. But and you're right. Like you are right. But for some reason, man, it's got this suck on people that's just like, yeah, I don't know what it is. I want to keep doing it.
Yeah.
It's crack, dude. It really is. It's video game crack.
Right.
So,
Well, yeah. Moving on. So PoE got some sneak peeks at what's coming in the Blight League, which is just like another week and a half, I think.
So were they dropping the notes? Like when did they drop the notes?
The notes happen say for us, season ends Sunday, and then the patch usually hits Tuesday. They usually hit the patch, or the patch notes hit Tuesday, but the patch doesn't go live until like the season starts.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
They got to test the shit out of their builds, man.
Yeah. But PoE doesn't really give a shit about balance. Like, I don't know. Because it ultimately
because they don't
really
have a competitive
matter.
board to worry about balancing, though.
Sure.
And I don't think Diablo 4 is going to have a ladder.
You don't think?
I don't think off the bat.
You think
maybe
it'll just
later,
be like a continual progression?
I think it'll be more like PoE style. I think that's it's a downfall and a strong point at the same time with PoE because, like you said, they don't have to worry about balance.
Sure.
Because there's no ladder to worry about. It's like if something's broken, like shit, it's broken. Who cares?
Right.
Like we'll fix it, but it's
kind of like it's broken, and then like everyone's like, well, I guess I'll make that this league.
Yeah.
And then
but they don't have to worry about okay, this breaks our competitive mode.
Right.
We got to fix it instantly. They don't have that pressure.
Yeah.
To worry about. And at the same time, though, they don't have the competitive mode to maybe keep people engaged as much.
Sure.
So it's like a positive and a negative, I guess, at the same time.
Right.
So I personally think that D4, at least at initial launch, won't have any kind of ladder system. And maybe a year or two into it, they'll be like, and now a ladder, just because it's like a hype thing. Like, oh, shit, it's nostalgic, and D2 had it, and D3 has it, and now D4 has it.
And to add on, like someone in chat, so we know that PoE has the races. We know PoE has like the Delve. We know PoE has like the DPS progression on like Ninja. But we're just talking about like a leaderboard, like end game competition. Like it's like it's not player versus player, but it's very much like player versus player. Like
what if PoE dropped PvP in that next expansion?
don't know how they could, man. Like, because that would be balance, and PvE that's not part of their formula. You know what I mean?
I think an ARPG that can find out a way to put PvP into it, would kill it.
It had to be Diablo 4. Diablo 4 is like, it's gotta have it. It's gonna have it. I would think.
It's gonna have it.
Yeah, I think it will, man.
God.
Diablo 4
dreams,
PvP.
Man, the dream. I hope it does.
Yeah.
But I think that's something that's missing from the genre. Like,
Lost Ark
ARPG.
did it really well.
They have PvP?
Yes.
Okay, so what do they do?
What do you mean?
Like, how? Is
It's
it like
arena.
open world? I see a dude,
No.
I can go kill you?
Well, maybe. I don't really remember. I don't think so. I don't think there's open world. I don't know.
How cool would that shit be? If you're out, you're chilling on your Necro, you're blowing up some rifts, you pop out of a rift, you're back in town or whatever, and you see some rando at the stash, and you're just like, you know what? Your soul is mine.
I had a bad day. You're going to pay the price.
That would be toxic to be able to kill people in town.
Yeah.
But I just think, I think Diablo 3, if it had some kind of open world where you can meet random people out in the environment and then potentially fight them, like, that'd be cool,
Right. No, I agree. I'm not.
Diablo 3's got no balance though. I don't even see how you could even do it in Diablo 3.
You couldn't in Diablo 3. No. Diablo
everybody
4.
would one shot everybody, and then you would get one shot. So it's like whoever sees
it's the same thing in PvE.
First wins. Yeah.
So, but
it'd be fun.
Fingers crossed. But yeah, so they gave us a little sneak peek. One of the things that I've always been hoping for in PvE, and it's like this patch is super weird because like I said verbatim, like PvE doesn't have enough chaos melee skills, and then they're like, we're gonna add 5. I was like, oh. So they obviously watched my stream, obviously.
Yeah.
So they're adding like this Cobra Lash, which is like Frost Blades, and they kind of announced that already. And then they added all these like skills to support it, and they all look pretty good. The one thing I will say is they're adding this like Pestilent Strike thing. And last season or last league was like the melee rework, but it doesn't really seem like the melee skills got like the attention that they probably needed. It seemed like it was just like, okay, Cyclone's really good now. But it didn't really feel like every skill is like, wow, this is great. So like my fear is that like they won't feel very good. And that's a problem. I think one of the problems for me with PoE is that like the skills just they're not super engaging and they don't feel that great. Like they don't feel good. They look cool. Like some of them can look really cool, but again, like we said before, it's not really like the combat that keeps you engaged in PoE. It's just like the continuous flow of like content in your face. So like it's just like there's so much to do. But just like eventually you just hit the point where you just like one shot everything or get one shot yourself. But like these look cool and like I'm down to try them, and like you can see like some of them in the video. They showcase them. That's like the Cobra Lash. Looks pretty cool. You like throw out these little ninja stars and stuff. But yeah, no complaints.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they're also reworking summoners. So summoners like can now like their pets can like be aggro. They can be defensive. They can attack the target you tell them to, which is like these are all brand new things to PoE. So, I mean they
need to get a preview window in their game, because when you're looking at loot and it links you to YouTube videos, like GGG, I love you, but on this next expansion, this big expansion, like build a preview window in game so I can spin my character.
PoE, right? Like PoE could definitely benefit from keeping you in the game, like period.
Yeah,
it always send you off, down a rabbit hole on like PoE wiki or whatever. So
you're right. It's like,
but that looks really interesting if you're into that. They also like reworked mines, which is like, I mean, it's a big deal. A lot of people are excited about that. But the biggest thing is like they reworked the masters. I don't know. You got to the Atlas. I know you got that far. But did you ever really like figure out master missions? Is that something that?
No, that's something I really got into.
Well, basically, it worked before is like while you're in like the Atlas, like you know this much. Like you were in an Atlas and you'd be running maps, and sometimes you'd like run across things to do.
Yeah.
And you'd like have to do them or else you like miss out, basically.
Okay.
But now they're making it so like you can be like, I'll take that. I'm gonna save that for later, so I can just like continue what I'm doing. And these will stack up like over time, so you can like do the content you basically want to do.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. And I saw people talking about it, and I kind of was like not 100% sure what they meant, but now I know what you're saying.
Right.
And so they can stack these things up, and they can just go run them whenever they want.
Exactly.
And didn't they expire before too? Didn't they let you save some things that expired instantly, or was that it?
Yeah, I mean, like you get dailies, and if you didn't do them, like you didn't get them.
Yeah.
So now they like roll over.
Those up too.
Right? They get 2 a day, and if you don't like log in, they stay there, and you can get like up to 100 stored. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, very cool. So I know a lot of people are popping out for that. But yeah, that's just like some of the stuff they've kind of leaked towards the expansion. They give us like little tastes until like the big patch hits, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I like that. Something I wanted to hit real quick.
Okay.
Because we didn't talk about it last week. We had Leviathan on, and like that was an awesome thing. I didn't want to like kind of derail it.
Sure.
But did you see this Respawn?
No,
article?
I didn't. And I've been meaning to look at this. But
like I'm gonna like the article that's in there is just kind of for background filler. It's not really that great, but I'm gonna like reiterate what happened. Okay. So, Respawn is you know, they make Apex Legends and a lot of other things. But I think they're, you know, I'm trying to see what other game do they really.
They do like Titanfall. They did.
Yeah, they did a bunch of things, but like as of right now, they're kind of known for Apex. Like Apex is their big thing.
Good.
Okay, so so this is Respawn. That's the company. Respawn community manager, its community manager and one of its lead project developers, I guess, got into it on Twitter or on Reddit. I mean,
wait, with employees, 2 employees got
employees. These are employees of the company. This is their community manager and their project lead developer. That's his title, project lead developer and their community manager. We're on Reddit, and I guess you know how Reddit's toxic as hell, right? And these dudes were just like harping, and I guess they read some things and it pissed them off, so they started commenting on this thread.
Oh god.
And in the thread, the project lead developer said, this is a direct quote.
Oh no.
Hey everyone, I found the dick I was talking about. That's it. That's all he said. And then like underneath a guy that had said something like, you know, this whatever, just bashing the game or wasn't happy with the game or whatever. And then so other people were like, whoa, what up? And then so underneath that, he says, and this is again a direct quote, I technically think I was calling gamers a dick. I don't know. I had a spicy lunch. I'm feeling it. End quote.
That doesn't really save anything.
And I'm like, okay, but it keeps going, man. It keeps going. And then, he later responds, and I don't remember if this was the community manager or the dev, but they said, I've been in the industry long enough to remember when players weren't complete asshats to developers.
Bullshit.
Neat.
Bullshit. They've always been that way, bro.
Yeah, but he calls them asshats.
Yeah,
like, dude, you can't call your community of people that support you, like, you can't call them asshats, man.
Stupid.
And then the last one. This is the final thing that kind of was like, oh my god. He said there's a wealth of data available on how monetization works in free-to-play games, and we ourselves have run tests by putting skins on sale in the store. The amount of people who spend is crazy low. Most of y'all are freeloaders, and we love that. A change in price doesn't move the needle.
You can't say freeloader and we love that. Like freeloader is such a derogatory term.
The and we love that was in quotes.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you just because he's basically saying like you're playing a free to play game. You're a freeloader. He just called everybody who doesn't spend money on an items shop on a skin a freeloader. And so, I don't know, man. So anyways, this was a big thing like 2 weeks ago, I guess. And we were busy on the podcast and we never talked about it. It's been kind of in the notes for a while. But this to me blew my mind. And I'm just sitting here thinking like, okay, the reason I wanted to talk about it on the podcast is I want to say if you, the head CEO guy of Respawn, like defended him and was like, he's fine. I support my developers and I'm supporting my team and, basically took his employees back. If you were in his shoes and you read this shit and you're like, my guys said what? And you read these things, like what are you doing, man? Are you like...
Okay, so it kind of depends. So like there are developers, right? And then there's like holy shit, like this guy's a savant developer. Right?
Yeah, he's like the man. Right.
So I guess it would depend on whether I felt that employee was like they were detrimental to like, tribal knowledge of the game.
You get superstar treatment. Okay, I'm with you. Fluff's World superstar treatment.
I mean,
got you.
Yeah, I mean, there's devs and then there's like, holy shit, this is a good dev, right?
Yeah.
Which I hope none of the programmers I work with are watching. So, and then there's like, okay, there's that aspect of it, but I mean, I guess ultimately for me, it boils down to that. But even still, I'd still be like, okay, you have to apologize.
Let's say he's not a superstar dev. Okay, he's just like random Joe.
Right. You're fucking fired. And I would get on Reddit and be like, I fired him. Yeah. He's a fucking idiot. He is a quote asshat. Right. And that would, that's like, people eat that up. So it's like.
Yeah, man. I don't know what you do. Like, obviously there's a lot more to play in that. Like, you're probably going to know that guy personally, I would assume, maybe. You've met them. I don't know how big Respawn is, if there are thousands of people or just, less than 100. But depending on the size of the studio, you probably know him. You're probably like, dude, John, what the fuck were you doing? Like, come on, man.
Right.
I definitely don't think I would go back him up. I wouldn't be like, he's right, or, I support him. Mm-hmm. I'd be like, holy crap, dude, you can't say that. And one of the dudes is your community manager, though.
Yeah, that's
so.
Insane.
All right, so the project lead developer. All right, that's not your thing. You're stupid, and you should know better.
You should stay off of.
You're in trouble.
Social media.
If you ever do that again, you're fired as hell. But stop. And the community manager, though,
it's your job to be patient, right? Like,
yeah, it's your job to not be an idiot.
Yeah, not make the company look bad. Right.
Yeah, you got to know that you can't. But
the thing is like every community manager I've ever seen has had a moment of weakness. It's like in the history of like the games that I've played and the known community manager, I don't think that there's ever a circumstance where anyone's had a flawless record. To be honest.
Well, you can't, man. Like even myself,
right?
Like I still read YouTube comments, and sometimes I'm like, you know what, F this guy, and I'll reply back like, giving him the business. And it's just because like eventually, like you can only take so much internet, and I get that, but man.
But it's also like not your job. Like we create content and like we try to be really helpful. But like coming at us is like just the most like it's vile, right? Like we don't work for anyone. Like if you don't like the content, just like don't fucking watch it, like but it's the internet, so it's fine. But Jesus.
Yeah. It's funny.
We don't get paid to like help you, right? Like it's not. Anyway,
it's not. Yeah, we're not supported by the dev,
right?
So or by whatever game Blizzard, whoever you want to.
No, we're shills. Remember?
Yeah. Well, you seen my setup? Yeah, I mean, they paid for all of it.
Oh yeah.
So
sick.
I need Rockstar, man. I need some ninja love. So I need a Rockstar backing.
Isn't that Red Bull?
You want to do some? Yeah. Did I say Rockstar?
Yeah, you did.
I mean, Rockstar needs to get in it. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to set up. He is Red Bull. You're right. Yeah, Red Bull paid for his stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only logical choice after Ninja's taken by Red Bull. So, like, who else is left? Oh, yeah, you.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, Rockstar.
Of course.
Reach out to ThaPChild.
100%. And then I'll throw you some scraps, man.
Thanks,
you can have my old shit.
Thanks. I get your cans. I can recycle them and get a little coin.
No, I mean, I'll give you my old stream stuff. I'm like, here, you can have these lights and my dope green screen. It's all yours.
Shit.
Let's do some Twitter questions.
Yeah. Hit it.
Stretch3281 says, with the numerous Star Wars announcement at D23 this weekend, which Star Wars things are you most excited about? Rise of the Skywalker, a.k.a. Episode 9, the new Kenobi series, or the Mandalorian series?
So first, can we theorycraft on that a little bit? So you saw the Episode 9 trailer?
I did not see the Episode 9 trailer.
Why the fuck are we even talking about this then, dude?
I haven't seen it, man.
All right, well.
Put it on right now.
You can't. Okay, let's watch it in the podcast.
No, it'll get us muted. You can't.
Yeah. But yeah. So which one are we pogging out the most for, basically?
Yeah.
Did you watch the trailer for the Mandalorian?
I have seen that.
Okay.
Yeah. That looks cool to me. I don't know.
There's that one scene where he like yanks the guy through like the door that was shutting. Did you see that whole? I was like, all right, like that's a little cool action sequence. Like it might not be like PG, maybe.
I have a feeling that the TV series are gonna suck.
Really?
I don't know why. I do. I just think that there's this thing with Star Wars that it's like so hype and it never lives up to it.
Yeah, like Rogue One.
Rogue One was actually good, but but I think that's why Rogue One was so good, is because I expected it to suck. I really did.
I expected it to be good because it was following Episode 7. Like
How
Episode
do you
7
not
was
think
good.
Rogue One was good? What was wrong with Rogue One?
It was just like, let's go get the Master Switch, and it's like a fucking lever in the middle. Like it was just so.
Oh my god, man!
That's like everything about it.
Impossible to please, right? Impossible. Yeah. So I don't know. I need to watch the Episode 9 trailer. In all honesty, I've kind of been under a rock for the last week, so I don't know when exactly it dropped.
Yeah. I would say
I did see a trailer for the Kenobi thing, but I can't remember it very well. I think I saw some stuff on that.
I don't know.
There was info on it. Like I saw some.
Is that
some
a
stuff? I thought.
Show as well?
I think so.
I thought that like they were gonna have Ewan McGregor like do another thing. Are they having doing the TV show? He seems like too much of an A-lister to like do a TV show.
Let's see.
Anyways.
Yeah, I don't know.
So are you picking the Mandalorian or what? What are you picking?
Nah, Man, the movie's gonna suck, dude. Let's be real. Like, I want the movie to not suck, but the other one sucked.
You thought 7 was not good?
Dude, it was not good.
7 reignited me for Star Wars, 100%.
Really?
Yeah, I thought 7 was quite good.
Like what?
Because it was so open-ended, and 8 just like crushed everything.
Was it the non-Jedi Star Wars pilot fighting Jedi who had no abilities? Was that the part in 7?
But they're like holding.
Just amazing?
Here's the thing: is like Kylo Ren could have been the most badass motherfucker ever, and he was to an extent in that movie, and I think that they did a good job of that, right? So they like fired the laser at him at the start of the show, and he's like, "Bing!" Laser like frozen.
Yeah.
And like that was fucking dope.
Badass.
Yeah.
And then he turned into a little fucking emo baby.
Exactly. Okay. And then in the second movie, you're like, okay, maybe he wasn't fully trained in the first one, right? And then at the end of the 7, they said like, oh, bring Kylo Ren to me. He's got to complete his training or whatever. And so there's this expectation going in the 8 that he's going to be like a badass.
Yeah.
And then they kind of set it up in 8 for like the whole movie was leading towards like him bringing Rey in front of Snoke
into the
right.
And
they could have easily been like that was his plan all along, and then he becomes like the Sith Lord, and then that would have been like, oh shit, that's Pac. But it was just like, no, it wasn't anything like that. He's still like an emo little bitch.
It was a fucking sellout. It was like stupid fucking Hollywood sellout script. It was dumb.
It was dumb.
And like, okay, so if we're gonna talk like this is obviously earmuff territory. If you haven't seen them, I don't even know why you'd be upset at spoilers at this point.
It's a year. Yeah.
Well, 7's been out 2 years, 3 years, however long it's been.
Year per month.
So like, okay, Han died. His death scene was horrid. Like, you're telling me like this super iconic character gets killed by a little emo baby on a bridge?
But it's his son. But if you're gonna be vulnerable to anything,
set up cool. It just
so if your kid was going through some emotional turmoil and he's like, "Daddy," you would be like, "I'm sketch. I'm gonna keep my pistol at hand."
It was just weak, man. It wasn't like, dude, this dude is like saved the galaxy. He's fought Darth Vader. He's done all this shit. He saved Luke's ass, and then now he's like, "Come here, son. I love you," and gets stabbed. Like it wasn't like let him go out like on his ship, like he's supposed to.
Sure. But he wanted to die, like so they just kind of gave him what he wanted.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I had problems with it though. It was okay. It was, as a movie goes, it was all right. I had problems. What was the pilot's name? That saved Ren and they became buddies. Ray. What's his name? Fuck. What's the black pilot guy?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I just don't know the name. I'm not good with names. I'm terrible with names.
When that dude fights a Jedi and holds his own, to me,
does he really hold his own? He blocks a couple times.
A Jedi. Like this dude's fighting a Sith Lord or whatever.
But he used they train the stormtroopers now to use those like little kinetic.
He's a Sith Lord, dude. Right. Like he should have kicked
his
ass.
He's not a Sith, bro. Do you even watch Star Wars? He's not a Sith.
I watch it. He was a Sith.
No, he's a dark fucking Jedi. There's no such thing as Sith.
He had a lightsaber. He's a Jedi. Whatever. He had a lightsaber and he had force powers. And this normal dude fought him.
We're done talking.
Shouldn't happen. All right. Anyways, thanks, Stretch.
What are you most excited for? Did you answer it? Answer the question.
The movie. I'm gonna go with the movie. I'm excited for all of them, to be honest with you, because I think they all have potential.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna say the movie because J.J. Abrams directed 7, and I thought 7 was okay. 8, I think, like ruined his kind of plan with the series, and so now he's coming back to do the 9.
Okay. So
that makes me like a little like, okay, this could be good. And again, it's got the Emperor in it. Like we heard the cackle, right? And
yeah, right. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, I agree. I think 9 could be awesome. I hope that they knock it out of the park, and it's like, you know, 'cause it's none of the Star Wars, like even Star Wars video games. Like I get so hyped for some of these video games sometimes, and they come out, and you're like, man, come on, dude.
Sure.
So whatever this new video game is coming out that they've leaked information at E3, I can't even remember the name of it now.
Right.
That'll be cool. I'm kind of looking forward to that as well. So, but on a side tangent, did you hear that Spider-Man's been pulled from MCU?
He's back now.
They fixed it?
Yeah,
they got it fixed?
Yeah, they fixed it.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
I
was upset.
I don't
You
like
wouldn't have cared?
I don't like the kid, Tom Holland. I know. Everybody loves him. I don't like him.
Really?
Yep.
Man.
Bothers me.
Yeah, I like him. I think he's cool, Spider-Man. I like it. I was upset about it. I was like, are you kidding me? No more Spider-Man in the MCU?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they fixed it.
Dirty says, so since ThaPChild played Witch Doctor to start the season, Fluff, are you going to give it a go anytime soon?
No, because he signed up to play Witch Doctor for 2 days, chat. 2 days. He's like, I guess I'll suck it up and play Witch Doctor for the podcast.
I did it for the season. Season 18 Witch Doctor, man. I didn't even play another character during season 18. Dude. At Witch Doctor main.
The answer's no.
Really?
No. Unless the new set that we're going to get at BlizzCon is like, wow, this is really cool. But I doubt it.
Yeah. Let's see. Ecthelion says, where's the hat?
Your hat? Yeah.
Your hat? A new meta hat?
No, you usually wear you wear a hat a lot, right?
Is that what he's saying?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah.
How did you know I wasn't going to wear a hat today?
Well, the picture you tweeted out didn't have you in a hat.
Well, I don't take that picture.
I think that was just him saying it to that. I don't think that was a question. I think that was him saying it to the photo you posted.
I thought he was being legit. I thought he was asking if we were going to have merchandise.
Oh, so yeah. Maybe. I've actually got that question. I just it's hard because we split this thing, and then I guess if we ever sell any merch, we have to Venmo it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how we would do the thing. Maybe invest it back in the show somehow.
Right.
But it is a weird thing.
Yeah.
So.
Word.
Let's see. We got Connor says. Oh, go ahead.
No, it just made your screen small. Hang on. I fixed it.
You breaking me again?
Yep.
Connor says, do you think that the devs are okay with the state of Necro push builds? And if not, why haven't they done anything about it?
It's a loaded question. I don't think that they probably know. I think that they see that Necro is doing pretty well. And so that's their only basis for okay, they're fine. You know what I mean? They're powerful. I don't think that they necessarily have insight on how Lon Thorn's Necro works.
I don't think it's intended.
No, it's not. It's legitimately.
Thorn Necro is intended. And I think, so to answer the question, are they okay with it? I don't know if they're okay with it or not okay with it, but
I don't know if they care.
I don't think that's what they would want the top build to be.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they have the resources to fix it. Otherwise, they probably would have. So your second part, why haven't they done anything about it? I don't think they can. I don't think they have a big enough team where they can say okay, your guys are on this Thorns thing. Get something else better and get rid of it. I don't think they have the power to do that.
I think they do. So really, to nerf it, you don't have to remove Thorns. I say that and I joke that and I meme that, but the passive for Necro that's 200% Thorns to pets, if you just nerf that to 25%, 15%, it's fixed. So
I think maybe they're scared to break the 4-man meta too.
But they should. like they should nerf Starpack Wiz Lon, and they should nerf Thorn Necro, and then 4-man meta is pushing for 150 again instead of speed farming it.
Yeah.
That's like 100%
I don't know.
what they should do.
I don't know, man. I think that would upset a lot of people if they did.
If you nerf anything, people are going to get upset, but it's for the good of the game.
I think they try to avoid that.
Yeah.
I remember reading an article years ago, and it may have been with Wyatt and Brandy sitting on a couch, like when they were doing those interviews and stuff, those VODs. But I think it was Wyatt, and he said something like, you never want to log in and have your character feel weaker than it did the previous day because of a patch that we made or some changes we made.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they've stuck to that pretty well throughout the history of Diablo 3. I don't think there's many times where you log in and you're like, man, this build that used to work is now crap,
Right.
Can't think of too many times that's happened. So,
yeah.
Maybe that's why, again, philosophies. I think it's time to kind of, times have changed since that statement. So,
sure.
I think they could do that.
I mean, they just read my Necro posts, guys.
The last question we got, Trent says, what is your favorite holiday? Kind of loaded.
I guess New Year's.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
New Year's or 4th of July. Like 4th of July, probably because like Lindsay pogs about it. She loves seeing fireworks and shit. So we always try to do something for that. But yeah, New Year's for me, I think.
That's interesting. That's not what I expect. Most people, I think, are going to go with the traditional. I think Christmas is really awesome. But
you
Thanksgiving,
have kids, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, even before I had kids, like
it's
Christmas
such a corporate sellout fucking holiday. Like I hate it.
I love these conversations. this is so great. This coming from the man who won't get married either, because that's corporate bullshit.
Yeah, it's the government, like basically they're part of your relationship. You don't need that. I'm gonna start making notes, and someday we're just gonna have like a podcast of just like fluff against, you know what I mean? Sure.
And we're just gonna start talking all these things.
Yeah.
Fluff against. Mm-hmm. I think Christmas is fun, man. Like it depends on the year. Like there have been specific Christmases in my life that have been awesome, and like it felt so so joyous, and like everything was perfect, and things were awesome. And then there's Christmases that it just comes and goes, and it's like, yeah, that's cool, Christmas game. But Thanksgiving to me, I think, might be my number one, and it's because it's there's always good food.
Wow. Okay.
Always good food, and I get to see my family. Like we get together, and like we don't all get together all the time. But like my brothers and I usually get together at Thanksgiving at least once, and like we have a fun time, man. My brothers and I are clowns, so we have a good time.
I guess it would be bedtime. Like Thanksgiving is my least favorite holiday.
Is it?
It is.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, it makes perfect sense. Okay, it makes perfect sense. It's your least favorite.
The traditional fare that's served on Thanksgiving is like just a group of my least favorite foods in the world, like turkey and like mashed potatoes, ham.
And I'm with you on that.
Okay.
But my family mixes that up.
That's
and
good.
I think a lot of it's because of me. So, because I don't. So we have lasagna, which is one of my favorite dishes.
Much better.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I'm a huge breakfast fan. So my mom always makes me this really big breakfast casserole with like scrambled eggs and sausage and bacon and just this deliciousness.
I will be at your house for Thanksgiving this year.
You're welcome, man. It's good. So I'm with you. I think turkey and like I actually like stuffing, but I think turkey's kind of meh.
But two, it's like it seems mostly about football, like in the current year.
Yeah. I guess.
Instead of like it should be about like maybe like respecting what was originally and like why it started. And
I think a lot of people I think football promotes football. I don't like my family's. I mean, we might turn the game on, like a couple of the guys.
Sure.
Because some of my family is super sport nuts.
Yeah.
And everybody's probably got them in their family. Right. So like I'm a football fan, and my brothers are football fans. So we'll watch a little bit, but in general, I think most people in my family don't care.
Sure.
Don't pay attention. So.
It's also a holiday that so we're a fat country, obviously, and it's a holiday that 100% promotes like just straight up overeating. like in the old Greeks, kind of style, where it's like gorging, binging, gorging. So
yeah,
I don't know. I could go on for all night, but yeah, the stream's gonna like just turn against me probably. So
I got you. Okay, Fluff hates. Fluff hates segment. You know what? That's a great idea. We're gonna start doing that. I'm gonna devote.
I got
1,000
podcast
things every week to a random Fluff hates thing.
Yeah,
I think that's a really good idea. But yeah, that's it. So okay, let me flip this. So 4th of July.
Yeah.
You like and New Year's Eve because obviously those are party celebration holidays.
Yeah.
So you must like to go out with some friends.
For me, like I actually get like upset if I spend New Year's at home. Like if I'm in Kansas for New Year's, like I feel like that was a bad year. So like I like to go somewhere international for New Year's and just like crack open like a beer and like appreciate some like view or like where we're at and like I don't know, just like reflect on the year and just have a good time kind of thing. And that's why I like New Year's. 4th of July, again, I'm not a patriot by any means. So it's not like because of the holiday. It's just, again, like Lindsay like actually loves 4th of July. She just loves fireworks. And so like I'm just trying to find something fun to do. So
what do you do on 4th? So like I let my wife, I told her I'll do whatever. This is a couple of years ago on the 4th of July. I was like, I'll do whatever you want. So my brother is really big into like partying hard on 4th of July. And he goes, I'm going to call it a hotel party. I don't know if that's what they call it, but like these really nice, lavish hotels. You like rent a room in the hotel and they have like this, club party thing down with like catering and like all this shit. And so my wife's like, let's go do that with your brother. I'm like, all right, cool. And we did it. And I was like, yeah, babe, this is great. But in my mind, I'm thinking, this is fucking horrible. I hated every second of it, man. I was like, I don't know. It wasn't my thing at all. I felt like I was on Jersey Shore. You know what I mean?
Oh, really?
Like,
douchebags and stuff.
Yeah.
But you're not a drinker either.
No, I'm not a drinker.
Yeah.
So we were just at this club scene, like everybody's dancing and stuff, and that's cool, I guess, if that's your thing. And it was just, but like to me, I'm just like, man, for New Year's, I'd rather just, I don't know, man, just anything else. Sure. So is that your thing? Is that your style? Like, you want to be at a club
for New Year's,
dancing it up? Yeah.
No, I just want to be like somewhere else and like chill on like a beach or looking over some mountains or whatever, man. Just be like, this was a good year.
Maybe so you're going to propose on New Year's then? That's
how.
Like...
Where did you go? How did you go there?
At the mountains overlooking, like, this has been such a good year. Let's reflect, baby. I want to get married.
You are so programmed.
I love it. All right, guys. Episode 66, Fluff Gets Married, has come to an end. We will see you guys next week for episode 67. If you want to catch more of me, you can catch me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, everywhere at ThaPChild.
Yeah. And I'm Lord_Fluffy, literally everywhere besides the Twitter, where you just double those underscores. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
Peace.